Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're looking live at the Calamity Jones Hour. I'm Mandy Jones, and this is my husband, Glenn. He's usually next to me, but he's not. He's the man behind the scenes, and he's actually not even behind the scenes. I'm running the board tonight myself. The man works. The man works. He's tired, like a human being who works. So here we are, just me tonight. Sorry, can't help it. We have a very special guest with us tonight. You guys know him already, but we had technical difficulties the night he was here. So we're really excited to have him back. Real quick, just a couple of housekeeping things. It is October 24th. This is our 10th episode. The gentleman that you're about to see tonight was also on the 7th episode. I don't know what you guys are doing for Halloween, but I'm having a costume and comedy extravaganza. It's once in a blue moon. I don't know if you know this, but 2020 Halloween night, which is a Saturday, is going to be a blue moon for the first time in a really long time. I'd have to Google it to tell you how long exactly, but it's going to be nothing but fun. We've got a bunch of Halloween themed things going on that are going to be surrounding the show. You know, we're going to have Halloween prizes for, people who have the best costume. Everyone's got to wear a costume, whether you're just coming for the party or whether you are coming to perform. All the comics will definitely be in costume, so that'll be fun. Just wanted to let you guys know that is also no cover and open bar. All you need to do is RSVP to me, Mandy Jones. You can find me anywhere online at Mandy Jones the Comedian, Instagram, anything like that. That's where you should subscribe. YouTube, please share the show. I think that's enough housekeeping, enough about me. Let's hear about you guys. I want to bring on our fabulous, fabulous guest was so patient during the technical difficulties. A very good friend of mine, Mr. Joey Petroni.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be back. Thank you.
It's so great to have you back.
Awesome.
My mom was like, get him back this hour, like this second, like right when we were done.
Right.
I'm like, let him go to sleep. Let him see his family.
Yeah, it was echoing. I went home and it was a great show, but it was a lot of echo.
Yeah, exactly. And what I love is there are people that love my show,
right,
and me and Bonnie and what we do, and they watched it even with the horrible echo.
Oh, okay.
And they stood true, and I love that. I love that we've built this little family here, because you're such a family-oriented guy.
I am. I've become a family man, And,
well, you have 4 kids?
I have 3 kids.
3 kids. It can feel like 10 at times, I'm sure.
Yes, it could get crazy sometimes. But.
And tell me again, reminds me, or the audience that doesn't know, pretend I don't know.
Okay.
You have a daughter. I know at least a daughter.
I have 2 girls and a boy.
And what's the lineup? What's the ages and the ranking?
So my son just turned 18, and he's at Nassau Community College.
Okay.
And then I have a 15-year-old, Sweet 16's coming up.
Okay.
And I have a 13-year-old who's at a Halloween party right now.
Very nice. Now, what is the Sweet 16? What does she want to do for that?
With this pandemic going on, I mean, we could have a backyard party.
Okay. Yeah, you're limited. I wasn't even thinking that.
Less than 50 people.
So everyone's getting gypped out of something with COVID. Everyone's graduations and everything's
graduation.
Dishing, everything's a little different for everybody.
His graduation was in the parking lot at Tobay.
Oh, at the beach?
At the beach.
Okay, well, that's cool. At least they wouldn't have had it at the beach. So it's something you'll never forget.
Right.
It's something that it was different.
Completely different.
It's kind of like a blessing in disguise with some of the stuff. Like I planted a garden.
Oh,
I wouldn't have done that, had I not been working home and had time to, actually water the plants.
Right. All the extra time.
It was kind of nice. I know you and your daughter bike ride.
We bike ride. Yeah, I must have lost about 20 pounds probably.
Yeah, well, you guys bike ride like far.
We do. We go 16 miles, and from our house to Tobay is like 22 miles. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And she wants to go like all the time, right?
She wants to go every day after school. She wants to go on the weekends, and my legs are killing me. You know, after 16 miles, she get up the next day. She wants to do another 20 miles.
I will walk with like a friend, and like my legs, I'm like, was I running? Because like it burns. Like if you for like an hour if you walk, like you know. So I can only imagine. Like not that like. I'm not saying you're old, but you're not 30 years old.
No.
And my body hurts.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine.
It's crazy, you know.
But it's good. That's what keeps you young, right?
It keeps you young, keeps your head straight, you know, during this pandemic and stuff like that. Gets you out, gets you fresh air, gets you some sunshine, you know.
Yeah.
It keeps me out of trouble.
And she'll never forget, you know, my dad would ride bikes with me every time I asked him,
The new thing is we're feeding ducks, and, you know.
So now you're bread in a backpack as you're riding?
It's kind of embarrassing when
now it's getting out of hand.
You're standing there feeding ducks, but we used to do that when I was a kid, too. We used to feed the ducks. So.
Yeah. So
pass down the tradition. You know?
Exactly.
And then we go home, my wife's making duck. No, but yeah, we get out, we spend some father-daughter time together. As far as a Sweet 16, you know, whatever money I would spend on a Sweet 16, maybe I'll just get her something, you know, maybe go on a trip somewhere or something.
Yeah, you know, and that's cool too. Like I didn't have a big wedding, but like I feel like I bought my truck with that money, and I feel like you know, like we throw, you know, the open bar, and I have some money in the kitty that I didn't spend, you know, on this big extravagant wedding, you know. So
it's over in 4 hours, and then what, you know?
Right. So there's all these different ways to. There's looking at the bright side of life is definitely a big way of, you know, it's something I struggle with, but I try to look on the bright side of things, the silver lining, because when you know, you say, oh, this sucks, but it's like, yeah, but if that didn't happen, we might have died.
Exactly.
You know, we might, you know, it's like. You don't know what would have happened, you know. It could have been so much worse, you know.
You always have to think positive, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So when you wake up in the morning, you could go that way or that way, and you know, sometimes I go right down the middle.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I mean, I'm not like a morning person. Like I have trouble like getting to work on time and like motivating to get to work, you know. But once I'm in a like it really is a decision to be in a good mood, but it's hard sometimes.
It is, you know, especially when you're married and your wife's putting you down all day, you know.
Well, you know,
could have loaded the dishwasher.
Well, the thing about it that's hard is something that spoke really true to me one time was one of my friends. She said that she could not be to her spouse. She could not speak lovingly to her spouse. She said, because I wasn't even speaking lovingly to myself.
Right.
She said, I was treating myself like shit.
Right.
That I couldn't even treat her well.
Right.
And she said it took till, you know, she left her and it was therapy and all this, long time after. But for her to see that and to be able to say that rang true to me because I'm a married person, and it's true. When you're down on yourself, it's like, fuck you too. Like, fuck me, fuck you, fuck every person on this fucking planet. You know, everybody sucks. You know, what do you want me to tell you? You know, when they start telling you about how some schmuck pissed them off at work, and it's like,
they bring that home with them, man.
Right,
you know?
right. And then you're like, well, I don't want to hear about it.
Yep.
You know, it's thanks for telling me about fucking that. You know, so it's really hard. Like me and him try to have a plan. Try to have a rule where you only speak positive. If you have something good to say about work,
right?
You know, if somebody complimented you, or you feel good about something, or you got something accomplished that was good, you could do that. But like or else we just both start, because it's funny because I dispatch people at work, and then he is a technician. Okay. So we both see the other side of the coin. So we actually both probably help the other people do their job better because we see the other side of it. You know,
both sides, yeah.
But I also I know what I hear from what goes on in the job site, and I'm like, I know they take advantage sometimes, you know, and then or there are things that just can't be done because, you know, actual physical constraints versus just, you know, mental limitations, you know. So I don't know.
You can't bring negative energy into your house, man.
Yeah, it's just hard. Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
Yeah, leave it at the door.
Yeah, because I break my ass all day at home doing stuff around the house outside, doing all the men's work,
Yeah, yeah.
And then I wake up in the morning and she's all pissed off because the dishes are still in the sink. She's like, "You could have put the dishwasher on,
Right.
So now we're trying to make pancakes and we can't even get a fork, So that kind of crap.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
stupid stuff, man.
Right. No, but I agree, and it's because I'm the same way. It's like, okay, all the inside stuff is Mandy's work, and I understand that. I am very much traditional because I can't clean the gutters.
Right.
I can't I'm not the one shoveling snow. I'm not the so he handles all the books and he's got the money brain
right, right.
he's like. I trust him with that shit, he's got us on lock with that.
Yep.
But, when it comes to what I can contribute, but sometimes you just get tired and it's just hard, you're just done too. Because I do work. It's not that I sit home all day,
right.
and still want him to be doing the dishes. It's, it's just, it's hard, and it's all about compromise and communication. So
right.
It's definitely, you're right in that you just have to keep positive because it's not.
Yeah,
it's a spiral.
In a world of negativity, man, you got to find the positives, and life is short. You want to sit around being miserable, go ahead, but I ain't gonna sit in the same room with you.
Yeah. I like that.
I'm not gonna. You gotta. If you're an adult and you can't choose to think positive, then you're on your own. So anyway. No, we do good though. We're happily married, 20 years, we're married, so
well,
it's all good.
That's a long time. That's a really long time to be together.
Yeah. And she made me wear a mask around the house in the beginning of this pandemic. I'm like, in the house. She's like, and then she wouldn't let me sleep in the same room if I didn't wear a mask.
Yeah.
So I'm waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning choking on a freaking mask.
Yeah, and it's
so she's paranoid in that way.
Right. And it's for your safety, her safety, it's for the kids' safety. It's just
she's like, you're out landscaping all day, you're out talking to people. I don't know where you've been, and you're coming home, you bring in germs in the house. So I go in the back of the house, take all my clothes off, go in the downstairs, shower, and then put a mask on the rest of the night,
Yeah.
So, and with lack of oxygen to your brain, you get pretty short-tempered,
Yeah, it's not really good.
Yeah, and nobody else has to wear a mask because nobody else is leaving the house, so.
Right.
I'm the only one in the house.
Yeah, so you're being punished in the doghouse.
It's
the guy
ridiculous.
who was the breadwinner.
Yeah, and then when the mailman comes, she sends me out to get the mail, because I'm the only one that's wearing the mask.
You're already exposed to the virus.
And then food shopping, I had to do all that crap.
Yeah.
This pandemic.
So is she getting okay with that now?
Yeah, it's getting better now.
Yeah, because you gotta start living.
Yeah.
What my dad said to me as soon as this shit happened, he was like, "You can get hit by a car tomorrow."
Right.
You have to live your life.
You can fall down your
short.
stairs. Yeah, you can fall down your stairs. Yeah.
Exactly. Life is fucking short, and you have to really cherish it.
Yep.
Let's just real quick. Nancy Weems is saying hello to us. Robin DeVito is here. David Lange, not Range or Lange.
Oh, okay.
Lange, Colonel Lange. Just know it's an interactive show. These guys, a lot of these people tune in. Bruno, I see you up there. A lot of them tune into the Wildflowers. So if you guys have any questions for Joey.
That's funny. You don't see any. I tell everybody the links, and you don't see any of my friends on there. It shows you the support I get.
Did you share it? Oh, Ashley Keon. Ashley, how you doing, girl?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll share it later.
No, it's all good. So we have a couple. Well, one of the things you and I have in common is both, growing up on a dime and being thrifty and kind of just making the best of what you have.
Yep.
Do what you can with what you have where you are, right?
Well, I grew up in Levittown. My parents, they live in Queens, and they scraped every nickel and dime together. They bought a house in Levittown, and. Now we're living paycheck to paycheck with my dad. He's never home. He's working overtime. He's never in the house.
And how many siblings?
I had 3 sisters growing up.
And they're all, where are you in line of the 3 sisters?
I was the second oldest, so I had an older sister.
Okay, and then 2 younger.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was tough, man. Right before payday, we had no food in the house or anything like that.
Right.
So my mom was smart. She would invite the neighbors over for a barbecue. you know, and and they always would bring steaks and an Entenmann's cake. You know, they'd always bring extra goodies, you know. And all we had was hot dogs with no rolls. So she'd cut up the hot dogs and put them into macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
And she was smart enough to give it to those kids. And because they were eating steaks all the time, you know, so to them that was a treat. They got
right, exactly.
So my mom played it smart, and my dad, when my dad was around, he knew to give them a couple of beers, some wine, you know. This way they wouldn't even realize who's getting what, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not even so much that, like, the family's like, that's not even about that. Yeah. Like, it's like when it's kids coming together, it's people coming together. Yeah. It's not even like they were like pulling wool over, you know.
No, they didn't care.
It's like
they didn't care about who got what, but we did. My dad told me, he's like, you know, when I put the mac and cheese, don't touch it, you know. He's like, look to your right, I'm gonna put the steak over there, you know. So
play your cards right. Mom will make you mac and cheese any night you want.
Yeah, we had a good night. You know, we always had a good night. You know, we played darts afterwards and stuff like that. So it wasn't like, you know, if I look back on it now, I know what my dad was doing.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
He couldn't get a steak, so he hated the guy.
Yeah.
I'm serious. The mom was nice. The kids were nice. The kids broke shit in my yard. You know, the dartboard was always cracked in half and stuff. But my dad couldn't stand the guy.
We put up with him for snake every once in a while.
A little duct tape on the back of the dartboard. But my dad, he couldn't stand the guy. They had nothing in common, you know. Like, he had like a corporate job somewhere. His house was dormered, you know.
Yeah.
And they had a nice car. And he always talked. He's a show off.
Yeah.
Hi-fi stereos, hi-fi VCR.
Yeah, it's got to show you.
We didn't even have a VCR.
Yeah.
So anyway, but. Looking back at it, my dad did the right thing. He did the right things. Everybody was happy. Nobody gave a crap, you know.
Right, exactly. And like if you can afford to give steak to your neighbor, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they say, like, you know, just build a longer table.
Right.
Like, you know, if they're, you know, that's it's, you know, I'm forgetting the complete. But you catch what I'm saying.
Yeah, right in my town, in Levittown, right on Wanter Avenue, they had a Hostess thrift shop.
Ooh.
Which was like day-old bread. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you could get like 5 Twinkies for $0.25. You know, so we always had that stuff in the house.
Okay.
You know, so when they brought over a fresh Entenmann's cake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We were cutting the mold off Twinkies. You know.
Yeah.
And digging deep into the bread to get the good bread, but looking back, we had a tough life, and that's why today, you know, I'm doing better today, but I still, on garbage night, I'm still looking at stuff. It's just the way I was brought up.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
There's something that's, I think that's great. Like, I think there's something that's just inert. Not like, I don't know, because I'm the same way. Like, I can afford more than, I don't have children right now that I can spend money on myself.
Right.
But I still choose to go to the thrift store and buy.
I can't get out of my head.
Like, I love going to, I fucking went to the yard sale the other day down the road. We went to the diner, and on the way home, see a yard sale. I'm like, we have to stop. It's right on the road. End up talking to the lady. She doesn't have a job. I'm like, oh, we need people at my job. Give me your resume. Like, you know, that's just like, I'm like, that's just how life is. Like, that's how I am.
I can't break out.
I don't go to the mall.
I can't break out of it, man. I can't, you know, and it's kind of sad because everything in my house is like, you know, it's all mixed match. Nothing matches because I find things on garbage night, you know. I clean it. I paint it.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have to.
You make it your own.
I make it my own.
Yeah.
You know, somebody, but
give
you know,
it character.
I got springs popping out of my couch. My daughter got cut. I thought she had to get stitches on one of the springs, but it's crazy.
Shot, we're good.
It's crazy, but and instead of buying a mattress, I bought a mattress topper.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid stuff, but.
My husband jokes that we fucking that he was conceived on the mattress that we have. I'm like, that's great.
Oh, really? It's so old?
Because it's from my aunt. It's from my in-laws.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like they had it for, 30 years.
Yeah, so I go out on garbage night, and I drive around on garbage night, and you know, what happened was my wife has a bad back.
Okay.
And this is part of the reason why we fight a lot is because we couldn't afford a mattress. We went to like Sleepy's or whatever it is. Now it's something else. It's Mattress Firm or some crap.
Okay.
And I went in there, you know, I had about $400 cash in my wallet, and I figured I'd get a nice mattress for it, you know. They were $1,200 for a fucking mattress.
I know, they're expensive. I know.
And I couldn't talk the guy down. He's like, I don't have anything for fucking $400. You know, he gave me a twin size mattress. I'm like, all right, then she could sleep on the mattress. I'll sleep on the couch. You know.
Yeah.
So I did the next best thing. I went out on garbage night, and I found a mattress on garbage night.
Yeah.
And there was nothing wrong with it. And
Yeah.
I didn't tell her. I took it home. I used a leaf blower.
Yeah.
And I blew the whole mattress off in the backyard, and I couldn't find anything on it. Nothing, So I swapped them out. I put the new mattress in when she really didn't know, and so she found that night she woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And she had bites on her legs from like I guess bed bugs or whatever. I don't even know what the hell it was. Gnats, fleas. I think it was fleas. She had like all these. They didn't bite me. It was the weirdest thing in the world. And she's complaining. She's like, "This isn't our fucking mattress. Whose mattress is this?" And she's complaining. I'm like, "Yeah, but you fell right to sleep." I'm like, "What are you complaining about?" She's like, "I bites." Her back hasn't been any better. I'm like, "How's your back?" She's like, "My back's fine." I'm like, "Well, there you go. Think about it."
Yeah.
So you got a few bites on your legs. I'll spray it down with Raid the next day. I took it outside. And I sprayed the whole thing down with Raid.
Yeah.
And we haven't talked about it since.
Yeah.
I went out and I got a mattress. A mattress, not a topper, like a really good mattress. What is that? A bedspread, like a thick bedspread to cover up. I shot it with Raid.
Yeah.
And then I put a really thick sheet.
Yeah.
Like, a fitted sheet.
Yeah.
And aired out the room because it stunk like fucking Raid. But the thing is now it's like that was 3 years ago, and we haven't looked back since. She hasn't had any no bed backs, and no bed bugs, no fleas.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Exactly.
But that's why I'm working my ass off, because I do want to get I want to get a $1,200 mattress, and I will eventually.
Yeah. Of course you will.
I know that's a weird story, right?
No.
I put that on stage at Governor's, that story, and people are cracking up. I'm like, it's fucking real, man. My life is comedy,
Well, that's how I felt. I got into comedy because my life is a joke. And everything is a joke.
Everything.
If you just wait long enough for the punchline, people make jokes of themselves.
Right.
The entire situation could be a joke.
Right.
The bigger you get, the more, there's so many layers of everything that's hysterical.
Yep.
I don't, a lot of people have told me on stage you need to embellish more and you need to bring, more stuff that's not real and, add more punches and stuff. And I'm like,
do you have to? I mean,
I don't think that's me.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think I have to.
Most of the stuff that I talk about is real life stuff. From this pandemic being in the house, they say you should, spend time, learn guitar. Or I wrote a novel. I wrote a book.
Oh yes, which I want to talk about again, by the way.
And I just started looking back at my life when I was younger, and most of the stuff I did is funny, and why not just take that to the stage? I mean, I can make up stuff.
Right.
But I worked at Burger King back in 1983. I worked at Burger King.
Okay.
And it was an awesome job. I loved working there. I get free Whoppers and French fries and stuff like that. And so one of the stories that happened at Burger King was the district manager would pop in at the end of each month, and she'd just surprise visits to the store.
Right.
And she popped in this one time. Her name was Terry. And she walked in, and there was pickles, out of the canister. There was onions on the it was a mess. When we make the Whoppers.
Not to her specs.
She usually comes on a Friday or something like that. She came on like a Sunday afternoon, something weird.
Yeah. And
nobody expected her. So she came in. She was yelling at the manager, and I was standing on the side. And I kind of had a smirk on my face, and she looked at me and she goes, "You think this is funny?" She goes, "Petroni, go outside and clean the dumpster." So is that sick? I'm a little kid, man.
Yeah.
So I went and got the bucket, and my friend Ed was helping me fill up the bucket with the cleaner and stuff like that. And he's like, "You know what? Fuck this." He's like, "I wouldn't do it if I were you. I would quit. I wouldn't go." So I went outside. I'm walking toward the dumpster, and I started thinking, I'm playing it over. I'm like, I'm not cleaning the fucking dumpster,
Yeah.
So I went back in again, and she's like, "What are you doing back in here? I told you to." Took my uniform shirt off and I threw it at her. Right? I'm wearing those brown pants. I took the pants off. I'm standing there in my underwear in the freaking dining room of Burger King. I realized I got nothing else to wear.
Yeah.
So
I actually came to work in this outfit you own.
I said, I quit. I'm out of here. I quit. And Ed's clapping in the corner. It's good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah. Because money's not worth your sanity.
I'm not gonna go into. I know my parents would kill me if I went in the dumpster. So I went outside, and now I'm in my underwear outside on Hempstead Turnpike in East Meadow, and from the store to my car in the parking lot, it was like the longest freaking. I ran, but it's the longest run. Getting my keys, trying to figure out where my keys were. And a long story short, I got home, and then I'm in front of my house in Levittown. I got to get from my car to my house in my underwear.
The
guy
longest,
mowing lawns. It's a Sunday afternoon. Everybody's outside.
The longest run ever.
So, and she didn't realize she didn't realize I actually had another. I had a shirt at home when I got home. I had a backup uniform.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah, this is from 1983.
Oh my God,
isn't that crazy?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's like something you should hold on to because
I do.
I mean, I know you hold on to it, but like that's probably worth money someday.
Yeah. It's my Burger King. I don't know if you can see the name tag.
1983. That's like you.
This is the actual uniform from back then.
Because they must have. Most people they would return them and they would destroy them.
Well, they didn't realize I had this at home.
No, I know.
I have the brown pants too. I didn't bring the pants, but I have the pants with it too. And so the thing that's funny is how everything's connected. Like the circle is that like about 4 years ago I went to Boston to see a Boston Red Sox game. And I was with my friends, and I was going down the escalator, and I recognized her right away. Going up the escalator was Terry from 1983.
Oh my God.
I recognized her features on her face.
Yeah.
And as we passed, I said, Terry, and she turned around a little bit, and I went, Burger King, clean the dumpster. That was it. That's the story, But I ran into her.
Did she smile at you?
She probably when she got to the top of the escalator, she realized who I was.
Yeah.
But at that moment,
yeah,
she's like, Terry. She's like, she's startled.
Yeah.
But,
that's great. But that's you're meant to run into her.
I ran into her
because it was not a.
How many years later is that? That's like 30 years later. I ran into her.
Well, yeah. Would you say 88? You were working.
83. That was 83. So it's like this was like 2015 maybe. I saw her on the escalator in Boston. So, if I had a chance, I would have probably threw my shirt at her or something.
Exactly. If it weren't in an elevator.
Yeah, she basically abused a 13-year-old kid. I mean, I don't know. I forget how old I was. In 83, I was probably about 15 maybe. But that's abuse, man. You're mad because there's pickles and onions.
Right,
the restaurant's a mess, and you're going to turn around,
humiliate one
go
kid.
clean a dumpster. Yeah. Look at it today. In today's world, you can never get away with that.
Yeah,
So.
no.
Anyway, that's a story for the stage.
Yeah. So have you ever, but you've never told that story on stage, you're saying?
I started thinking about stuff during the pandemic. I just sitting around. I had all this time in my hands. I found the shirt. That's actually made me started thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning
awesome.
up. Yeah.
I love it.
My Burger King shirt from '83, and everything just, it's like a flashback,
Yeah.
So, it doesn't even fit me no more.
Well, yeah, and I think people like you and I that don't come from much, we treasure our material stuff, even though it might not cost a lot.
Yeah,
it means a lot to us.
This means a lot to me. Means nothing to anyone else.
Right.
Yeah, I can't never get rid of this.
Right.
Especially now that I found it.
Yeah.
And the name tag. And I tell you, half my check was going to my parents back then too, because
Right. Yeah, that's why you're working. You're helping.
My home.
It's being the family.
I wasn't doing my homework. My mom would actually write letters to the teachers saying, "I'm sorry, my son didn't finish his homework. He had to work last night.
Yeah.
He had to work out overtime with a late shift." Because I'd come home from Burger King and I'd be like,
first of all, I feel like work.
The smell.
Stressed out about school.
Yeah. Come home to do your homework, and it's like and the teachers kind of knew that we were struggling, so like they let me like do my homework like weekly, instead at the end, what I'm saying, like they were good about it.
That's cool. That's nice to hear.
Yeah. So, and then other stories about back in the day when I was younger is that my whole family is huge Met fans.
Okay. Yes. Well, we had brought that up. You have a cardboard cutout.
I have a cardboard cutout. I'm picking it up. I'm going to go pick it up on Sunday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So wait a minute. So we pick it up on Sunday.
I have to go on Sunday to Citi Field.
Okay.
And we can't get out of our car. We have to wear a mask, and
they're over it. They're done with it.
Yeah, they're done with the car. Yeah, the Mets. Unfortunately, the Mets didn't go too far this year, but so we.
Take your cardboard cutout.
I was good friends with the owners of the Mets, Saul Katz and stuff like that.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, I was good friends with them. I was at a lot of games. They kind of knew me.
Right. Okay.
I was at so many freaking games through my life. But yeah, so we pull up in our car, and it's a 7-line Army. That's a 7-line Army buy tickets out in center field, and the whole section is it's like a group.
Okay.
7-line Army,
Okay.
and it's awesome. You know, we all sit together. We all wear orange shirts with the Mets logo on it and stuff like that. And it's just awesome. We travel together. So when we go to pick it up, we're going to pull up, and then we have to wear a mask, and they're going to just hand us in the window. They're very COVID.
Yeah.
You know, very
Friendly.
COVID pickup. You know.
Yeah.
So I guess a lot of people are paranoid about getting the COVID virus. I mean, you can only do what you can do. But so when we were kids, we were Met fans.
Yeah.
And my dad was a huge Met fan. And my grandparents were huge Met fans. And we couldn't afford to go to Met games. So a lot of the times we just listened to the Mets on the radio in the backyard while we're swimming in the pool, or actually run under the sprinkler at the time. And so Dairy Lee Milk had a contest type thing. Dairy Lee Milk, on their milk cartons, they would have a coupon. It'd be worth one. So you cut the coupon out. If you collect 20 coupons, you get one ticket to a Met game. So we were drinking the milk like crazy in my house. You know, it was just like spilling milk on accident, you know, trying to get my mom to get more milk. But then we got smart. We started driving around the neighborhood on our bikes, and we'd ride around the neighborhood and we'd go through people's garbage cans.
Oh, there you go.
Bring scissors with us and just cut out all these.
Yeah.
And I'd keep them in my room, and my room started to smell like rotten milk.
Yeah, because it's like cardboard. It's like...
It stunk, man.
Yeah.
You know, you eat 20 for one ticket. So I have like 100 of these things in my room, you know. And my room smelled like, to this day, the Mets remind me of rotten milk to this day. But I finally got enough tickets to take the family, and my grandfather didn't really care, so we took my grandmother to a Met game.
That's really sweet, Joey.
So we all went to a Met game, and we were able to sit in the upper decks. You know, and I'll never forget this. It actually chokes me up.
Well, it's choking me up.
Yeah.
You know, it's beautiful. That means a lot.
It was a very exciting day.
How old were you?
Oh man, you know, I might have been 13.
Yeah, that's like a big deal. You were thinking
I was
about
proud.
your family.
I
You were
was
thinking
proud.
about your dad.
I was very proud.
You made it happen. You were gonna.
Yep.
You were innovative. You
Yep.
were like, yo, other people are throwing this shit out.
Yeah.
We're drinking. You know, we're paying hard dollars for it, and they're throwing it out.
So we were climbing up to. Unfortunately, the tickets were up in the upper deck.
Right, because that's what they're giving away. These assholes.
Nosebleeds, all the way up in the upper deck. So we're climbing up to the upper deck, and my grandmother, she had a heart condition. She had a leaky heart valve or something like that.
Okay.
So she couldn't keep going up. You know?
Yeah.
So we left her in the mezzanine section. The guy who sits you down, you know, with the wipes the seats. He saw her.
They're like, he can't.
He saw her.
We're leaving her.
He saw her
she's
struggling.
Not going to the top with us.
She wanted to sit with us, but he saw her struggling, and he said, she's staying right here.
She's enough.
So she
That's
sat
enough
next.
for her.
He sat in between two strangers, and I felt
We're not gonna kill Grandma, guys, even though you want to.
It was sad leaving her there, but you know, and she said, "I'm
But
fine."
she lived to
She
tell
goes,
about it.
She goes, "I'm fine." She turned around, she's waving to us. She said, "I'm fine. I'm fine. Leave me here. I'm fine."
Yeah, please. I'd rather not hike anymore.
Looking back at it now, I realize she could have died.
Yeah,
climbing,
seriously.
realizing how far.
I was worried that that's where it was going.
No. Well, I could tell you what happened. We all sat down in the upper deck. We all sat down. We had our seats, and we're in the nosebleeds. I mean, you could barely see, you know, the diamond down there.
And might as well be watching it on TV.
My dad went and he got he left to go get he wanted to get food for us.
Yeah.
You know, whatever money he had, he wanted to get food for us.
Right.
And he left before the game started. Before the national anthem, he left.
Yeah.
And he came back up. It was almost a sixth inning. That's how far down he was. And he got to get on line.
Yeah.
He got lost coming back. He probably had a few beers.
Yeah.
And by the time he came back, and what he did was he bought one hot dog and he cut it up into nuggets. So they called them hot dog nuggets because he couldn't afford more than one hot dog. And then we split a soda. It was nice. Listen, I don't want to put him down. It was, looking back at what he did for us.
Yeah, that's great.
And
he wasn't planning on taking you guys to the Mets game. That was your idea. So
he made it work.
Beautiful.
He made it work. And you know, we were sitting up there. It was a really hot summer day, freaking hot, man. And every now and then we're getting a nice mist. You were like, you know, it felt good.
Yeah.
And we're oblivious to it, you know. And my dad's sitting there. He's like, it was blue. It was from the airplanes flying over to LaGuardia Airport. They were dropping like a little bit of like, you know, like the blue fluid from. I'm serious. It drips off the bottom of the airplane. That's we were getting blue. We had blue. I don't know if it was. I can't. I don't. I would like to not think it was toilet water. I think it was like from the engines. But every time an airplane flew over to land at LaGuardia Airport, we were getting sprayed with the mist. And my dad's like, it's fucking toilet water. You know, he was so mad. He was so angry. I remember driving home.
Thanks a lot. So fucking
Yeah.
like the stinky milk carton.
I remember my grandmother laughing in the car on the way home. She's like, at least I didn't get pissed on, you know. So that's comedy right there, and that's
comedy gold. You can't
that's
make
comedy
that
gold.
shit
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
You know, that is great. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, grandma being like,
Standing
yeah,
up,
no,
we'd
I'm
stand
good.
up, we'd go like this, like, oh, it feels so good. You know, being an airplane flying over, and like looking back now, man, it was probably piss water. We're getting pissed on.
Well, my dad, when he didn't realize he's an arborist, so back in the day, he used to spray chemicals for
Right.
you know, like mosquitoes and stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, like in the 80s, before he had kids, he's like, yeah, a hot summer day, doesn't have his shirt on, like spraying the shit, like spraying the chemicals, like cool himself down.
Oh, are you serious?
Swear to God. And then he was like, yeah, and then I started like coming home and like feeling nauseous and shit and realized like probably not a good idea. Like, stop doing that.
Well, I was doing he was spraying for bugs.
Yeah.
Like caterpillars and stuff like that?
Yeah. It's like,
That's that's bad stuff.
Yeah,
Man.
no,
They
it's
tell you to
not
close your
good.
windows when you spray that.
Yeah, they're supposed to be wearing like masks. He should not even have like not have had a shirt on. But yeah,
I bet he's never
like,
had a problem with fleas or bed bugs, right?
Yeah, no, and the guy heals like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
He's
you know,
like, like,
it's weird because like you could have a strong immune system. It could go the opposite way. You could actually build your immune system up by doing crap like that.
right. Well, he always says it's from siphoning gas so much. He's a
Yeah.
motorhead, you
Oh,
know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like, you know, you gotta siphon some gas every once in a while.
Oh yeah, I actually siphoned gas growing up. You know, there was a I don't remember. I think it was '77. There was a gas. The what the hell
They were
was
like
it?
rationing it out, right?
Yeah, the gas prices were like back then. It was like $4 a gallon or something like that. Nobody could afford gas.
Yeah.
So like you know to cut the lawn and stuff, like I'd siphon gas out of our car in the driveway.
Right.
You know, so I could go mow the lawn. You know.
Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about. You'd swallow some gas.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, we siphoned our cars during gas from our cars during hurricane. What do they call it? I want to say Katrina, but
Gloria.
it's not right. No, the one that was right here.
Oh,
2012.
Sandy,
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I had a 1987 Corvette,
Right.
and then Glenn was driving he had a Subaru Legacy. So
Okay.
we're like, the gas that we have is going from the Corvette into the
You have to.
fucking,
Yeah.
you know, the car that's more gas
Yeah,
efficient,
yeah.
you know. And we had like, you know, we're living in a condo at the time, and people were walking by us. We're like, this is our car that we're fucking robbing.
I know, right?
The gas
Yeah.
out of,
Yeah.
like.
We had to get a lock back then. I remember my dad went to Rickles. I don't even remember Rickles.
No, what is that? Just like a
Rickles is like Home Depot.
general? Okay,
Yeah, like
okay,
Home Depot.
okay.
And he bought a lock for the gas cap for the car because there were people coming through the night and siphoning gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, we didn't know, but he would swear he had a half a tank and then we have a quarter of a tank, whatever. You know, he'd swear if someone's siphoning. So we had to use a key to open up our gas cap. That's how bad it got back then. But
Yeah, well, it didn't say paranoia, and you know, he wants every dollar, you know, that he paid for it, better not fucking get siphoned out of here.
Yep. So yeah, it was great, you know, and that's why I am the way I am today. You know, I'm just you know, like we just talked before. I mean, I see good in everything. Like you know, if someone's throwing out a chair because it's got a broken leg, I'll fix the leg in 2 seconds. You know, that's the way I was brought up.
Yeah.
So we don't have to live this way, but we do.
Right, exactly, and I think that's something beautiful about it, and then you get back to a more basic level of what's important.
Right.
You start losing sight of things when you get all the extraneous stuff. You
Right.
know, you start losing sight of what's important.
Yeah.
Because a T-shirt is really all you need. Like, you know what I mean? When it comes down to it.
Yep.
You know, you don't need, you know, all this fancy shit. And I don't know. But a couple of other things. You wrote a book. Please tell me about that.
I did during the pandemic, and you know as well as everyone else on TV or whatever, they were saying, use this time. I think Dr. Fauci was saying it, or someone, and they use this time to do something that you always wanted to do, but you never had time to do it.
Right. And
So,
you had started writing a book at one point.
I did. And I used to write a lot when I was younger.
Okay.
A lot. Back in, I went to St. Francis in Wantor. And because I got kind of in trouble in public school. So my mom put me in, and actually, believe it or not, they didn't really charge tuition back then. It was like, it's a long story, but anyway, I started writing back then, and the 8th grade teachers, Sister Rose and Sister Paul, would read my stuff for English. I had to write. They were just looking at my stuff for grammar, but they'd call my mom up. We have to have a meeting tomorrow. Your son, I'm writing about talking light bulbs. I'm talking about like the Flintstones, like they live next door. I'm writing stories that are so out in left field that these people are thinking there's something wrong with this kid.
Yeah. He must be seeing things.
Yeah.
He's getting,
Is there something wrong with your son?
We might have to exercise.
Yeah.
Something.
I had to write a paragraph about something just so they could check my punctuation, and they're reading it and they're like, "This something wrong with this kid." Like.
This was not what we asked him to do.
Right.
He went way too creative with this one.
Right. So what would happen is I still talk to Sister Rose and Sister Paul today, and they love the fact that I'm a stand-up comedian and I went that route.
Aww,
they always knew
that's nice.
Well, they knew there was something, different about my
was
brain.
Going on.
My brain
They're
is
glad it was just comedy.
My brain is different. Yeah. So like, oh, I'm so happy for you, So yeah, I wrote. So during the pandemic, they were saying that you should do something. So learn to play guitar or whatever. So I'm like, I always wanted to write a novel. I always wanted to write. And the novel that I wrote is actually a true story. And during the pandemic, everybody was watching Netflix, and there was a show called Tiger King.
Yep.
Remember Tiger King?
Yeah. How could you forget
what was that girl's name? Claire?
Oh, Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of, I guess you could say I'm quarter of the way into this book, and I'm watching Tiger King and Carol Baskin. I'm like, I have a Carol Baskin in my story.
You're like, no way.
But yeah, that story, Tiger King, is a true story.
Right.
And the thing I'm writing is a true story.
Right.
There's nothing fictional about my story, but I have a Carol Baskin. And then I'm watching Tiger King, and I see how much popularity it's getting. It's getting more people watching it. And I'm like, and my Carol Baskin is Carol Baskin on steroids. It's like the one I'm writing about.
I see your Carol Baskin, and I raise you my
Carol Baskin blows her away. She makes her look like an angel. The one that I'm writing about in my novel is so much worse than Carol Baskin and Tiger King. Everybody hates. Long story short, this novel gets in the right hands. It could be the new. Forget Tiger King. If Tiger King I like Tiger King. Don't get me. I thought it was awesome. I like the whole thing. But I have a novel, documentary, whatever you want to call it, that would be. I don't want to jinx myself, but it'd be just as good or better.
Just you have a story.
But it's a real. It's a true story.
It's crazy story, and you're very lucky that it happened to you because you have the ways of getting the story together.
On paper,
not everyone could write.
The details.
Some people can draw, and
Right.
some people can sing,
Right.
and you are able to write.
I'm able to write, and it's basically something that happened in my life the last few years is going into a book. And
I'm going to make money off this crazy bitch.
yeah, I could make money off it. And it's weird because it's almost like once the book's out there, it's there's a lot of people in my book. There was one person in my book that's not going to be happy, man. Well, the one person and her surroundings are not going to be happy.
Right.
Because she's involved in some crazy. And look, I look at the world today. I'm talking crazy stuff, and it's part of my story.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's actually a novel documentary that maybe you might say, where did Joey Petroni go?
Yeah.
I might disappear because it's going to get some people in a lot of, it's going to cause a lot of problems, man.
Yeah, you might cut your hair.
No.
Go into the
Oh, I can cut my
witness
hair.
protection program.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's in Hawaii somewhere. Yeah. But
Joey, I hadn't seen him in a while.
so I wrote I took the advice of Dr. Fauci, and I wrote a documentary novel, and I got myself killed. That could happen.
No. But I think what's cool about you is I know that you're not in it for the money. You're in it for the story.
I want the story out there because it's very personal.
Yeah.
It's a very personal story.
You had even said to me, like, you almost alluded that maybe it was for your kids and, like, your family to know where all this stuff was in one place.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Is this documentary came from my computer, the desktop on your computer.
Yeah.
So I have folders. Emails, texts, voicemails, video.
Right.
I have all the stuff, and if something happened, just say I did.
Croak.
Whatever.
We're all mortal.
I hate to use the word die, but say I died.
Say we croak.
Nobody's gonna know what the hell that stuff is.
Right.
So I started off thinking I got to get all this stuff off the desktop
so that
and
they
put
know,
it down so
right.
they know what the hell it is.
Right.
And then Tiger King's on. So
Yeah,
I'm
then
whoa.
you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
we got
man.
a whole different thing going on here.
Got a whole new thing here, man. So
you're like, yo, if these fucking loons can do it, I got way loonier loons.
all I'm doing is taking information that is facts and I'm putting it into a book. And if it doesn't go anywhere, that book is a family book.
Right, exactly.
That will have the truth way beyond my time here.
Right, exactly.
So.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of the written word.
That's
it really
the beauty
is,
of it. Yeah, and make copies. And you know what you got to do is I found this out is you got to put it on YouTube or something because say you have a video, it's damaging on your desktop. Something happens to your desktop. Something happens to your hard drive. So I put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's permanently on YouTube.
Right.
You know
and
what I'm
you
saying?
said it's private. And
Yeah, it's private.
Yeah,
it's there. My son has my kids have the
login.
passwords.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a lot of people do that. Even with families, I know that go, that live in different states. They'll do everything private, and then the family has the login.
Yeah, if you lose your phone or you lose something. If it's something you really need, put it on YouTube private.
Right, and that's what's the beautiful thing about Facebook too is like I put all my comedy posters, even if I've already done the show, I put it on there because then it's nice to see that's the work I've done over the years. It's nice.
Yep.
It's like and it's this platform that we're not paying for. That your phone breaks, the computer breaks, whatever, you still have it.
It's a backup. It's a backup to life.
Exactly. We have a couple more minutes here.
Uh-oh.
I did want to talk about. We got what kind of wait a minute. You go first. What other stories do you want to have? We can go longer if you want.
No, it's all right. It's up to you guys, man.
how many stories are you looking at? Because we can.
No, these are just reminders of.
We could tell a couple stories. Well, you didn't tell the story about the Coliseum.
Well, yeah. What happened was. Back in the day when
you're a hockey fan.
I'm a huge Islander fan.
Okay.
Huge New York Islanders fan, and the Islanders were in the playoffs in 1980, and they were playing for the Stanley Cup against the Philadelphia Flyers.
So 1980, so 83 you were 13, so 80 you're like 10.
Yeah, and a huge Islander fan. I played ice hockey back then. I played hockey in the street. All my neighbors were Ranger fans. I was an Islander fan. So it was back and forth all the time. So Islanders are in the playoffs. They're going for the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup is the final championship. They're in game 2 or something like that against the Flyers. And I'm having a great time watching it. So my TV, I had a black and white TV. And back then we had one TV set. I'd fight my sisters over watching it all the time. They wanted to watch the Hardy Boys and stuff like that, Brady Bunch. So the New York Islanders are playing the Flyers, and I think it was getting to game like 6. I just finished watching game 5, and the TV was always cutting out. It was like And
how many are there in hockey? How many games?
Best of 7.
Okay.
So I think it was going.
So 6 is like a big deal.
It was come up to game 6.
Okay, yeah.
So the Islanders are playing at game 6, and the TV craps out completely. We don't have a TV. I was able to watch game 5.
Yeah.
And So my dad knew how he couldn't get me tickets to a game. There's no way in hell. But
Right.
He knew how much it meant to me.
Yeah.
You know, he was gonna actually bring me to a bar and sneak me in so I could watch. He's trying to figure out what to do. So he took the black and white TV down to the repair shop, and he brought it in there. And the guy said, "What's wrong with it?" He's like, "You know, it doesn't come on at all." He's like, "Doesn't look good." You know, that was like a Monday.
Yeah.
The next, I think the Islanders were playing on a Saturday, so he had a week to fix it. So Monday afternoon, we dropped it off, and I remember going to bed that night, and I'm just thinking, you know, I wasn't really religious, but I remember saying, please fix the TV set, you know.
For all that is holy.
Yeah. So the next day I went to school, and everybody's talking about the Brady Bunch and, you know, Happy Days, and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's the worst. That's like being out of the loop.
I'm out of the loop.
As a kid, that's like the worst.
I'm out of the loop. And I rode my bike home from school that day, and I passed by the repair shop, and there's my TV in the window with a for sale sign on it. So I went in there. I said, "You fixed it? You fixed it?" He goes, "Yeah." He's like, "And it's for sale." He goes, "Why are you selling my TV?" He's like, "Because your dad came in to pick it up, and he couldn't afford it." And he goes, I run a business here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but time is money, and I run a business here.
Yeah.
I was devastated. You know?
Yeah, of course,
So
of course.
I rode my bike home, and I feel like I'm getting teary-eyed now. I was really
Well, because
very
it's
upset.
hard for you and your family and everybody. It's just rough. It sucks.
When I got home, my dad said that they couldn't fix the TV set. I didn't want to.
He didn't have the heart.
I didn't want to tell him that.
Yeah, neither did you.
I didn't want to say anything. So that, you know, next day, same thing. You know, everybody's watching Happy Days, and you know. So now it's like Friday, and I'm devastated. You know, I hear my dad talking to my mom downstairs in the kitchen about possibly sneaking me into a bar to watch it, and you're not taking, you know, fighting in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So the next day I get up, and it was an afternoon Islander game. It was a Saturday afternoon, game 6, and Nassau Coliseum was 2 towns away from me. I lived in Levittown, and East Meadow, and then Uniondale.
Okay.
So I rode my bicycle down Hempstead. My parents would have killed me. I rode my bicycle down.
This was before you were trained with your daughter to ride your bicycle.
Right.
This is like...
No helmet, you know.
Yeah.
Just ride my bike. I know the Coliseum's that way, so I rode my bike down Hempstead Turnpike, and I got to the Nassau Coliseum, and I rode around outside watching everybody go in with their tickets, you know, and just being there, maybe, even though I was outside, I had such an uplifting feeling, you know, people blowing their horns, you know, let's go Islanders.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere was good enough for me.
Right, the energy.
There's no better place to be. The energy,
that's
that's
why people feed off of
Yeah,
it. That's why people go to live music and stuff. It's just the energy of it. Like,
I just started thinking to myself, I don't have to be in there.
right.
Just being
This
here
is
if they
enough.
win. Yeah.
Yeah, this is enough.
So when the Islanders, you know, the game started, whatever, and there's nobody outside anymore, I'm riding my bike around the Nassau Coliseum. And when the Islanders scored, you actually hear, whoa, you know, and you hear the screaming and yelling, you know. And every now and then, if you're outside, you could see the inside door open up. Somebody go out to get hot dogs or something like that. You could see in there. You could see, you know, I'd be looking in there, and I was out there for like the whole game. And so all of a sudden, a security guard popped one of the doors open, and I'm assuming he probably was watching me.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey kid, you got a lock for that bike?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Lock it up."
Oh,
Islanders are going into overtime. He's like, history's can be made. And I went.
your history was made for sure.
He's like, this is once in a lifetime, kid. Lock up your bike and get in here.
Aww.
And he let me in. Nobody else was around anyway. I went in, and I remember just standing. You know, people were standing all over the place. So
Right.
You didn't need to have a seat.
By the end of the game, it's
you didn't
like,
need a seat.
yeah.
And you know, I don't know if you know about the game, but Bobby Nystrom scored the overtime goal at 7-11 of overtime. It was basically, I memorized the whole thing. It was Lorne Henning got the puck, the hockey puck, and he passed it to John Tonelli.
Okay.
John Tonelli, they crisscrossed. John Tonelli and Bob Nystrom crisscrossed, and I'm sitting right over here. They crisscrossed. Bobby Nystrom flipped the puck over Pete Peters' hockey pads, skated into the corner, scored the overtime goal. Islanders won the Stanley Cup, Game 6, 1980, Saturday afternoon. And he was jumping up and down. I was about 30 rows up, 20 rows up, and I could see the back of his head jumping up and down.
Yeah, oh my Lord.
And the next day, you know, you see the pictures in the paper. To this day, you see the pictures in the paper. and I know where I was. All you see is like a little speck.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
that's probably me, 'cause that's where I was. I was like,
It's me. That's
but
definitely me.
so none of my friends believed me that Monday in school. No, nobody believed me.
Yeah, fucking typical kids.
No, and that was the last game of the year. So how do you prove it?
Right,
So
right.
the opening night of the Nassau Coliseum that October, the next season,
Yeah.
the opening game, my friends and I, about 20 of us, rode our bikes up to the Nassau Coliseum, and we got it. We got in. I saw the security guard, and he knew what I was doing. He knew
Yeah.
I was being cool.
Yeah.
And it was an opening game. It wasn't like a big game, and
Yeah.
he popped the door and he let us all in, and we all started going to the left, and I heard. I think his guy's name was Steven. I heard, Steven, what are you doing? I turn around and his boss is standing there.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, we were in already.
Yeah,
The last thing I heard him say was like, pack your shit, you're out of here.
yeah.
You're done. So he actually got fired. I got the guy fired. So it's
But-
it's a happy story, but it's
But you know what? I wouldn't take the weight of that because it's possible that he had been doing that all season.
He might have been. He might have been.
He could have even been taking money from adults. You lucked out the one night. He was a nice guy. He's a hockey fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It could have
Yeah.
been. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Looking back at it now, that I'm a dad. I know what he did. He was being. He knew that he was making me look like a hero, bringing all my friends up there.
Right, because
So-
he probably recognized you from
Yeah.
the year before and
Yeah.
probably couldn't say. Get
Well, I
fuck
waved to
outta
him. Yeah, he knew
here."
who I was. So
Yeah. So
So-
he couldn't say, "Get the fuck
They
out
They were probably watching him. They were probably keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
You were the stroller.
I'm probably not the
Broke
only one.
canvas.
I'm not the
Yeah.
only one he was popping the doors for. Probably.
Exactly.
I don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the, and the other thing I wanted to bring up was, I worked at Dangerfields a lot in Manhattan,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was a huge Rodney Dangerfield fan. Everybody was a Rodney Dangerfield fan, and I worked there with my friend Joe Giannino for a while. I would say work. We didn't really get paid, but we had a blast. We'd go in there and, my friend Joe was friends with the owner of Dangerfields, and it was like a second home for a summer,
Yeah.
We were there 2 or 3 times a week, and then down to like once a month or whatever. But it was like a home away from home, and I'm so sad to see it close down. Did you hear about Dangerfield?
Yeah, no, I did. It's
So.
it's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, like Broadway's not supposed to be open until I think May 2021.
And Governor's, it's
No, Broadway.
Oh,
like the
Gover-
Broadway.
Broadway in Manhattan's not closed.
Yeah, that's insane. So it's like it's
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's crazy, and I understand it. It's just, man, hopefully they get a vaccine or whatever has to be done to get rid of this thing, man. Because it's destroying everybody.
Right. And I think it's taking a toll on everybody's spirits.
It is. I don't know about you, but the only thing I do to get back into, I can't listen to this crap on TV no more.
Oh no, I'm not a political person,
Oh, okay.
and I don't watch.
I don't even know who
news.
to.
I don't even have cable.
I don't even. People could say I'm ridiculous, but I don't even know who's who, man.
Yeah.
She's a liar. He's a liar. She's a liar. I just put on Metallica, or
Yeah,
not to say I'm a moron, but I gotta unwind.
Well, and the thing is, it's like you're trying to have a nice family life, and I can't. It's like watching sports and getting all riled up. That's not good for your heart.
Yeah.
Getting all upset about something that you can't really do anything about.
I'm riding my motorcycle with a mask on, and then people are saying, "You're a moron. You don't need to wear a mask on a motorcycle." I took my kids horseback riding.
Yeah, and you're like, you're a moron.
Yeah.
You care about politics.
Yeah. Oh, so if I don't wear a mask, in the next light I stop at, "Where's your mask, asshole?"
Yeah, exactly. You can't fucking win. You can't fucking
It's so
win.
divided.
You can't please all the people all the time.
I just say whatever is the best for the United States of America is what I hope happens, and
Yeah,
that's it.
exactly. I mean, we are the winners. I think we could do better. I think we could definitely do better, but that's up to us as the people to make the right choices.
Yeah, you gotta make the right choices, and and not to be selfish, but you should probably make I'm probably about 15 years older than you, but I got a bucket list. One of the ones on my bucket list was Dangerfields, and I was able to perform there.
Good,
And
good.
I'm really
Thank God,
happy.
because that's usually one of my questions, bucket list. So I'm glad you had one.
This actually reminds me of Dangerfields. I think they have this color red.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
My mom got me these seat
Yeah, they're
covers.
nice, very nice.
Thank you, Mom, for the homage to Dangerfields.
So with the bucket list, I wrote the novel.
Okay.
I'm learning to bake.
And is there any way I could buy it? Is it published and ready to go yet? Is there any link that I can sit?
You know, what it's got to go through. I mean, right now it's done, but I could probably fill in the blanks. You know, I jumped quick from, you know what I'm saying? I jumped very quickly.
Okay.
I wanted to get from beginning to end with all the facts in it, but like now, just say there's 30 facts in there. So I should probably write more about what that fact is.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of being so jumpy. I got to transition.
You got it. I got it.
It's got to the story's got to. If you read it, it's choppy.
Got it. So it needs work.
Yeah, it needs work, and it needs you know, grammar. Maybe my wife will do the grammar, but it's a book that will probably get me shot. I keep on hearing Janie's Got a Gun. You know that song by Aerosmith?
Yes.
Every time I turn the radio on, Janie's got a gun. I'm like, if someone's got a fucking gun, they're gonna blow my brain out.
No, stop manifesting that. Good thoughts only.
Oh yeah, no, good thoughts only. Yeah, so that's it for me. I mean, you know, you want to talk about the ventriloquist puppet? I bought a ventriloquist puppet back in 1998.
Yeah, and do you have him with you tonight?
I don't. I should have bought him.
Yeah, because I thought you brought him last time.
Oh,
but we
no.
didn't. You had him in the car, I think. But he said he was quite the exquisite puppet.
Yeah.
In that, like, you have to use, like, your whole hand. And,
Oh, yeah. It's got
like a whole thing.
It's got all the bells and whistles on it, you know?
So how much does something like that run you?
That was,
how about, like, now versus then? Like, what does something like that cost?
It was handmade. It was custom made. It's probably worth, now it's probably worth about $3,000 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, back then, it was worth $2,000. And,
$2,000, and
yeah,
now you're saying
and
it's probably worth $3,000 now. But what about
the company's
like,
out of business? So
what about something now? Like if someone wants one, you think they're
you could
$10,000?
probably get something for. I really don't know. Probably a handmade. Mine was custom made and handmade.
Yeah, that sounds like.
Yeah, it's really good quality. So I would say like, want to get something good, maybe $1,800 or something like that.
Yeah, and so now you did ventriloquism before comedy.
I worked with disabled adults.
Okay.
And I'm a DJ.
Okay.
So I've been DJing since freaking shopping carts. I used to bring my DJ stuff in, riding a bike, pulling it in shopping carts. So I was always an entertainer, you know. So long story short, with the ventriloquist puppet, when I started working with you know, disabled, handicapped adults and stuff like that, I would make them laugh all the time. That's where the comedy came in. You know, I was taking all the funny stories I had, so I had their attention with that. And then I just wanted to get I guess I saw, you know, Pete Michaels and a couple of ventriloquists who were really good. Vince Daytona. Guy was amazing. And you know, I'd look at TV and I'd watch ventriloquist, and I just knew that if I got one, I'd be able to do a lot with it. But they were so damn expensive. Yeah. So this puppet was worth about $2,500, and I was calling around, and then one day this guy called me back, so it was meant to be. He knew what I wanted to do with it. He knew I was going to help handicapped people. It's like, listen, I had a deposit on a puppet. It's made. It's been sitting here for 2 months. The guy's not answering me. It's hours now. It's like, I can give it to you for $1,000.
Wow.
$1,200, I think it was. Because the guy left a deposit of whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I'd have to pay the remaining balance.
Right.
So I did. I bought a ventriloquist puppet.
Wow, very cool.
It got me on the TV show Divorce Court.
Really?
Yeah, because what happened was when I bought the puppet, my wife was very upset because, you know, she didn't even have a wedding ring yet or anything like that. You know, and I was very, very cheap with everything I was doing. But they found out that I had a $1,200 puppet. You know, I have 2 girls, and she wanted to get bunk beds for them. You know.
She's like, well, yeah, not money for the handmade custom fucking puppet, Joey.
I spent all my money on a ventriloquist.
The kids are on the floor.
It's almost like I was Jackie Gleason when it's like, you know, I have a scheme. You know, this is gonna make money. This is big. This is big.
Then we're gonna have a mansion. Nobody else. They're not gonna need bunk beds. They're gonna have their own separate rooms.
Yeah, this is big. This is huge. This is gonna make money. You know, it's like tools. Like, oh, you don't make fun of whoever buying a wet saw to do tiles. You know, this is
you wouldn't mind if I was buying power tools.
Right. This is my tools of the trade. You know, so we got into a huge fight, and you know, I probably on YouTube back then I used to air all my dirty laundry, and someone saw it, and I wound up getting on Divorce Court. over the ventriloquist puppet. And my wife and I were flown out to L.A.
And then at
We
this
did an
point,
episode.
you and her are laughing about it, right?
I never really got to divorce, but it was a big issue in our marriage, you know. But
Okay,
it never
so
got.
it really was like a.
Yeah, it never got to. He smells my Burger King shirt. It never got to the point of getting divorced. I don't, you know, maybe it would have led to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Thank
But she was
God
putting down.
you went on divorce court,
Yeah.
because that might have saved your marriage.
Judge Tola actually saved my marriage. She did, because she said he's a good guy. You know, stay with him. You know, and everybody behind me was on my side. The whole courtroom was on my side.
Somebody loves puppets.
She was on the show. You know, we were actually at the podiums. You know,
They're like booing her and like throwing
I was
tomatoes at her.
I was the hero. She
They're
actually
like,
made
you're selfish. It's his
Selfish.
art.
She had
Let him do his art.
She had a list of all the stuff that bothered her that I didn't even know, and she's bringing it up on the freaking TV show.
Oh wow.
So she was hitting me over the head on this divorce court, and it was stupid crap, man. You know, like
they're like.
So yeah, she was just saying that he's got videos. Like all my free time, instead of like doing yard work or fixing up the house, he's making videos. And she's like, "What kind of videos?" I was making like little funny videos, you know, whatever.
He's like entertaining the kids and fucking VHSing the kids.
They did their homework on divorce court. They played my videos on divorce court, and my wife thought everybody when they put it on the screen, and my wife thought everybody would be laughing at me and making, you know. But when it was over, everybody was clapping. They thought it was they were on my side. So everything she tried to do backfired. So. Yes.
That's the joke.
That's the joke. I flew out to L.A. with a ventriloquist puppet, and when I went through the X-ray machine, they thought I had a dead body in there. They made me open up. They had fucking like 9 guys around me. I had to open up the suitcase because on the X-ray machine, it looked like a body inside the suitcase. So
they're like, "Oh, we got a child murderer here."
Yep, looking like this, you know, like this guy. All right, pal, Jeffrey Dahmer over here.
All right, we're gonna need a couple guys to take this one down. He's a fucking maniac.
Yeah. So I still have the ventriloquist puppet, and when my kids were little, the first few birthday parties at the house, you know, I'd pull them out. I'd pull them out, and all the parents would be, you know, we just moved into this town, right? And all the parents are hanging out, having beer and talking, and all of a sudden I'd pull out, "Hey kids, how you guys doing?" And some of the kids would scream, start crying. You know, they were too little for it. They're like 3 or 4 years old. And next thing you know, we got labeled that, you know, that's the crazy house.
Oh yeah, that's the ventriloquist.
Yeah, in my town,
guy.
Stay away from that house, man. That's the crazy house. So unfortunately, that's
that
how
would have happened without the puppet. I mean,
I
feel
like
like
Munsters.
my house is that.
The
like
crazy
that.
house.
Like,
Yeah, they probably see people coming and going, like, that's the drug house.
Yeah, they're like,
that's the house.
it's like fucking, you know, we actually got a citation because I parked my fucking Range Rover on the front lawn because it's easier for me and my husband. We always have different schedules. It's just easier to not jockey the cars around, and I don't give a fuck. I'm white trash. I'll put my car in the front lawn.
Right.
And
they gave you a citation.
Yeah, well, the guy across the street yelled, said, "This can't be happening." And I can't be looking at this.
I got not a citation. I guess it was a warning from the town.
It was a notice of violation.
That's probably, it wasn't, you didn't have to pay nothing, right?
I didn't have to pay anything. I just had to say I moved the car, and she said, "All right, I'm going to stop by and take a picture. That's moved."
I had
I can't do it anymore.
Similar on my mailbox when I came home probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I came home, and I had the same thing on my mailbox, and it was saying that people were complaining that my grass was too long. And here I am, I'm a landscaper, and I'm cutting everybody else's grass.
Right. I don't have time.
I get home late. I get home, by the time I get home, I have a few beers and stuff.
Yeah.
8:30, 9 o'clock every night. So I'd cut my grass. This time it went too far. It was like, pretty freaking tall. But I was also letting it grow out because I had some new fertilizer in it, and I wanted it to grow out.
It was an experimental thing.
Right. So the town of Oyster Bay left a citation on my mailbox that I was going to get fined. And I said, I called them up, and I said, "Listen, I don't have time to cut my lawn. I'm going to cut it on Sunday." She's like, "Well, I'll cut it right away. If you don't have it cut," I think they gave me like 10 days or something like that. "If it's not cut within 10 days, you're going to get fined, blah, blah, blah." So that night, after work, I came home. I laid down for a while. 3 o'clock in the morning, I got up, and I cut my grass. 3 a.m.
That's what my husband would do.
I see all the lights going on, neighbors' lights going on. The cops came. I showed them the citation. I told them the phone call I had. I told them I work. And the neighbors are busting my ass. not only did I cut my grass, I took the weed blower out there, the weed whack.
We got a full service.
I was like,
we're cleaning the yard up nice.
Yeah.
You want a nice yard? Here we go.
Well, the cops came twice. The first time they left said to stop it. The second time they came back, said, listen, you're going to get either disturbing the peace.
You gotta stop it now.
Well, disturbing the peace or a citation for your grass. He's like, you pick one. It's like, I can't, I told you to knock it off. And so I stopped.
Yes,
I don't mess with the police,
But the lawn was fine at that point, right?
Yeah, I already cut the grass. I was blowing out my. He came back. I was blowing out my my gutters. I was on the roof blowing out my gutters. He hit me with a spotlight. He's talking on the PA. He's like, "Get down from there." But all my neighbors were outside.
What? They want me to do this.
I have a video of it. I think my neighbors were outside yelling and stuff. Man, they were dogs barking. It was nuts.
Well, that was the thing. What my husband said, he's like, well, we'll just park my truck at the end of our driveway because then it'll be really obnoxious for them to get out of their driveway.
Right.
Like if you're going to inconvenience our lives, we're just going to inconvenience yours.
We should, as neighbors,
like let's just be petty.
We should all get along together.
The people on the sides of me are great. Everybody else is great.
Yeah, just like one people. Because the thing is, if you see somebody breaking into the house now. Right. I'm not calling them.
I might not see
put your blinds, put your blinds
fucking
down. Right. I think neighbors should all get along. I mean, I actually got a lot. Those people that actually started the whole thing, I found out who they were. They moved. They got divorced. They were idiots, man.
They fucking.
Because there was the mom. The mom. I don't think the guy gave two craps. I think the wife was just home all day, looking out her window. Yeah. They call them. I think they call them Karens now. They call them Karens.
Yeah, exactly.
See what he's doing now? She knew more about what I do than what I knew about myself, man. How'd you know? It's like, she told me. I'm like, oh, man. So, and she accused me of stealing garbage can lids. Okay, it was a very...
Well, is that true, Joey?
No. There was a very windy afternoon, very windy. And everybody put their garbage cans out. And I went out, and people put the house number on the garbage can. Okay? And they put the house number on the top, some people. So I was probably about 5 houses away. I stopped, and I took the garbage can lids, and I threw them in my trunk. In my trunk, because they're garbage can lids. I'm not going to put them on my passenger seat, my back seat. I put them in the fucking trunk. So when I closed the trunk, it was like, oh, whoa, those are my lids. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm bringing them back to your house. I'm going to back up 6 houses. Why are they in your trunk? Why would you put someone...
Because I work smart, not hard, you fucking
my wife sits in the passenger seat. My kids sit in the back. They're in the trunk because I'm not putting dirty garbage can lids. To this day, they accuse me of stealing the garbage can lids. You know what they did now? They took bungee cords and they tie it to the handle. And they put a hole through it. and they put and now it's like...
And it says S for schmuck on it.
Yeah. So... That's what I deal with in my neighborhood. Like, I'm always getting accused of stealing shit.
It's always something.
Yeah.
It's always something. Yeah, I steal garbage when you put it out on the street on garbage night.
Right.
I don't fucking steal from you.
Yep. It's crazy, man.
When it's on fucking garbage night, it's my fucking turf.
I have to deal with some morons.
I think that's every town. I think everybody's got neighbors that are good and bad. Everywhere.
The neighbors to my left and neighbors to my right are awesome. Got a house behind me so far, they're pretty good. The people that were the biggest pain in the neck got divorced, and they didn't sell the house. The house is black. So they must be with their new whatever, fuck the house, whatever, And then the house to the left of them, never hear a peep out of them at all. I told them, hey, listen, I have a party Saturday night. I won't put my hearing aid in. I don't give a shit, Have fun.
But the thing about that, which is nice, is then they won't call the cops on you or anything. At least if you invite everybody, it's like, all right, cool.
We all get along now, I think everybody needs to know who everybody was.
Yeah.
And now they know I'm harmless.
Right.
They actually come to some of my shows at Governor's. They were coming.
Oh,
they were coming down to my shows at Governor's. It was nice because some of the comedy I was doing on stage was about the people. They all knew who it was.
Yeah.
The Karen of the block, So I get an extra loud laugh because they knew what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So most of my stand-up that I've written is all true. Most of it is true.
Yeah.
It's true stories.
Yes, because that's what life is.
Yeah.
Life is funny.
Yep.
People are funny.
Yep, and yeah.
I really thank you for coming, Joey.
Thank you for having me.
I really do.
Thank you.
I don't know if you're available, but on Halloween I'm having.
I have to do a block party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I would love
I'd
to.
love
have,
to. Oh,
yeah, I'm
man.
gonna have you on in the next show that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Also, guys, on 10/24, which is a Saturday as well, there's a show in Islip. You can go to the show, or you can virtually log in for $5 to watch the show. So go to my page for all that good stuff. I'm going to put Joey's page up as well so you can find him. Thanks again, Joey.
Thanks for having me. I had a great time. Hope everybody.
We had to go over the hour because I just had so much fun.
Yeah.
And, I know everyone was laughing at the stories.
Oh, I hope so, man. I mean, those were all true stories. I could probably make them shorter.
But you can't make this shit up.
Yeah.
All right, we love you guys. Keep
Thank
coming
you.
back.
Have a good weekend, guys.